Mississippi State is up next for my 2024 SEC football record predictions. I have done Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, and LSU so far, and they are on my channel now if you want to go check out my predictions for those teams. What I'm going to be doing real quick is I'm going to be going through and doing every prediction for every team in the SEC. I should say predictions for every team. That makes more sense. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing that. And then when College Football 25 comes out in now less than a month, which is crazy, I'm gonna be going through and doing full season simulations for every SEC team and seeing how those results stack up to my predictions. And then at the end of the college football season in real life, I'm gonna go back and compare how the game's predictions as well as my predictions correlate with the real life results. So a lot of a pretty cool idea. I think a pretty fun idea there. It's a pretty long-term idea, but it's an idea, I suppose. But yeah, we have Mississippi State, man, and Mississippi State's a team that they're a big question mark to me, man. New head coach in Jeff Lebby. Very creative offensive mind is Lebby, and it's the big thing for me is how soon is his offense going to take place. It's obviously going to be in place week 1. Like how in sync, how fluid is it going to be? I can't tell you that. I think year 1, I think they can be pretty solid in year 1. I think year 2 or 3 is where you're really going to see Jeff Lebby's offense take off. I think he could give some teams trouble here in week 1, or in year 1 though, with that offense. They bring in Blake Shapen, who is he was the former Baylor quarterback, so I think that's a pretty good pickup. I assume he's going to be the starter. Mississippi State usually has a pretty solid defense. They're usually a pretty physical team. So I expect them to be pretty solid on that side of the ball as well. Again, they're a big question mark to me, so I'm not exactly sure. I could not tell you what the ceiling or floor for this team is right now. But anyways, they start off with Eastern Kentucky in week 1, and that's gonna be a win. I think it's a pretty good start to the schedule here. You get Eastern Kentucky, which should be a for sure win. Then you travel to Arizona State, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time game. That could be interesting. I think that could be a tricky game for Mississippi State, but I think it's a pretty good start to the schedule. For a team that's under a new head coach, trying to get their feet under them in this new system. You have a really easy game with Eastern Kentucky. You have I would say it's going to be a challenge at Arizona State. And then Toledo, which could be a pretty challenging game. I think they're going to end up getting the win over both Arizona State and Toledo as well. So they start off 3-0, pretty good confidence booster. Got some momentum going into this game against Florida. However, oh wait, hold on. I have Mississippi State beating Florida, so they start off 4-0 right now. That could be a good win over a Florida team as well. 'Cause I think Florida is a pretty underrated team going into this season. I think people are writing them off because of their number 1 strength of schedule. I think that they could be a team that surprises some people, to be honest with you. And I think Graham Mertz is a pretty solid quarterback. And if he's not doing too good, they have another really good quarterback behind him in Lagway. He can step up and, even though first-year player, I think he could, be a pretty dangerous player. He showed some good flashes in the spring game. I was pretty impressed by him and Mertz. Mertz had some good flashes last year as well. I think their running back room is pretty solid. Their defense is probably going to be pretty good, I would say. Florida's. So this will be a pretty good win for Mississippi State and a really good start to the season in the first month. So, 4-0, going to Texas. I think Mississippi State's gonna drop this one. Their first loss of the season. Texas is gonna be really good, man. Probably gonna be in the run for the SEC championship game, I would assume. Then Mississippi State gets a bye week, and this is just a brutal stretch, man. A brutal stretch. You know, you got Florida at Texas, off week, at Georgia, A&M. Very, very tough, man. Then they end the season with at Tennessee, Missouri, at Ole Miss. Just really, really tough schedule. I think they're gonna lose at Georgia. So that puts them at 4-2, 2-game losing streak, and then they get A&M, in what could be a home game, or no, what is a home game, could be a night game. Man, A&M is also a pretty big question mark for me. This is a hard one to pick. This is a really hard one to pick. Shoot, man, I don't. Okay, let's break this down by quarterback, because that's usually I either go by home team or quarterback. Is how I usually pick my winners when I don't know who to pick. So A&M could have Connor Wigman, who I think is a really good quarterback, and if he can stay healthy, can have a really, really good season for A&M. I don't know if I'll go as far as putting him in a Heisman conversation like some people were doing, but I think it can be really good. How good is Blake Shapen gonna be? Is my question, or whoever the starter is for Mississippi State. You know, going into a very offensive scheme under Jeff Lebby, of course, and you know, could they have the same success that like Will Rogers did under Mike Leach? I think that is very possible. A&M going to Starkville. You know what? I don't know. I'm gonna go with A&M. I'm gonna go with A&M. I think A&M can be probably. I don't know. I'm gonna hold off on saying that. I'm gonna hold off on saying that because I've not seen A&M's schedule, and I don't want to say something that's gonna, you know. Yeah, I'm just not gonna say anything. So that's 3 straight losses for Mississippi State. I could definitely see them beating A&M. Then they host Arkansas in the next game, and I have Arkansas winning this one. You know, I honestly think I'm honestly kind of changing my mind on that now. I think I would be more comfortable picking Mississippi State. But I picked Mississippi State to lose in the Arkansas video, so I have to pick them to lose here, man. I get them bouncing back against UMass. So that's good going into this last brutal stretch here, in which they have to go to on the road to Tennessee. Neyland Stadium, man. I think Tennessee's gonna be too much. Nico's gonna be a very good player, man, and that crowd, you know, I think Tennessee's gonna have a really good season. It's gonna be a night game at Neyland. You know, it's a top 2 or 3 environment there. I got Tennessee winning that one. And then Mississippi State gets an off week, and then they host Missouri, who could be in the playoff race at this point in time. I cannot really tell you how good Missouri is gonna be. You know, they get Luther Burden back, one of the best receivers in college football. Brady Cook at quarterback. They lose their workhorse at running back in Schrader. I think it was Cody Schrader. You know, they lost their defensive coordinator on Blake Baker. They lost their edge coach, Kevin Peoples. They lost some key defensive players. At this point in the season, you know, you're not gonna be thinking about the losses that they had in the off season. They're gonna have their own team, and they're probably gonna have some, you know, pretty good replacements, I would assume. And you know what? I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna pick Mississippi State to upset Missouri here. I think this could ultimately ruin Missouri's playoff chances. I've not seen Missouri's schedule yet. That's coming up in probably the next video or two. When it comes to my predictions. So, yeah, I think this could ultimately ruin Missouri's playoff chances. At this point, Mississippi State would be playing spoiler, and I think that would be a really good win. And the first key win, the first signature win in Jeff Lebby's tenure. So, that'd be really good. And then you go to Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl. The Egg Bowl's crazy, man. Anything can happen. It's no longer on freaking Thanksgiving night. It's on Black Friday. Which, why, bro? Leave it. Leave it where it was. At this point, Mississippi State is bowl eligible, sitting at 6-5. Do they go 6-6 or 7-5? Oh man, imagine Ole Miss in the playoff, and then they lose to their rival Mississippi State. It's not out of the question. I think it'll be really close. Oh man, what's my gut telling me? My gut is even confused, man. Man, it would be so nice to see Mississippi State ruin Ole Miss's playoff chances, bro. Not gonna lie to you. Oh my god. I'm gonna... Oh my. I'm actually torn. I think it'll be a really close game, man. I'm gonna go with Ole Miss. I got to. I'm gonna go with Ole Miss. They win by 2. Ole Miss wins by 2 on a game-winning field goal as time expires. That's what I'm going with. So if it happens, I called it, man. It's gonna be 33-31. Ole Miss wins. So I have Mississippi State going 6-6, bowl eligible. I think with this schedule, not the worst. Now based on this schedule, I think Mississippi State's ceiling could be 1. Could see them picking up 2, maybe 3. I would say their ceiling is 9-3, maybe 8-4. They got some good home games, like A&M at home, Arkansas at home, Missouri at home. I could see this ceiling being, I would say 8-4 is a more comfortable answer for me. I would say it's this team's ceiling. The floor, however, I could see them losing to Missouri. I could see them losing to Florida. I would say their floor is 4-8. Floor 4-8, ceiling 8-4. That's kind of where I see this team being, and I have them right in the middle at 6-6. That's my expectation for them. So, not bad, I don't think. I think it'll get better, the longer Jeff Lebby is the head coach there. I think the offense could be really deadly under him, and Ole Miss fans, my bad. Mississippi State fans have a lot to be excited about with him as head coach, even though it's his first time being a head coach. He could end up being a really good one, man. I do like him as a coordinator a lot, and I think he could be a really good head coach as well. So, yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know your comments down below. What do you think this team could do this season? Like, what do you see their record being? Do you agree with my predictions? Do you disagree with anything? Let me know in the comments down below. And, yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed, man. If you did, please drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.